let's discuss the story of the ancestry of the Basque Holocaust survivors, particularly the family that impersonates the late O'Neill, known as Amon Garth in the Schindler's List movies. Killed honorably, that means on purpose, for a Scottish Laureate, a Jewish actor, playing a royal line during prison incarceration after World War II, during the trials and various denazification efforts carried out by the Allies. Looking at this, we can see the Basque survivors in Berlin having worn the armband for a unmentionable, a eugenics, an unpatriotic, an unscrupulous, or in America, an antisocial, and the proper sticker on the car. That's right, the Basques family that survived the Holocaust in Berlin stayed in an inn, ate off food. No one was in the inn anymore. They were either at war or being pogromed, and drove around Berlin all day. At first, this enraged Hitler, who was very close to Berlin at many times during the early stages of the war. But eventually it became an almost friendly rivalry in Hitler's mind. Meanwhile, the Basque, fleeing his own death, was more of a nihilist, having given up on life, given the acceptance of eugenics, the purging and breeding of race via morality demonstrated by ethnicity, as inevitable and impossible to stop due to the ignorance of the common citizen who wouldn't refuse a nefarious or nebulous government order at any stage. The wholesale pederasty found in Germany and presently America, and prior to that France or England or even in Arabia, due to the works of the Catholic Church's psychiatrists, having replaced all normal doctors due to socialized medicine. The common concept of free Medicare or free medicine as long as you produce prints. Hence you're using medication, not proper bed rest from a temporary leave from work, and perhaps a stay in a cafeteria facility with fresh water and proper meats and vegetables, all voluntary, the latter the vegetables. So, we find Hitler as having worried that he somehow betrayed the Basques family until the end of the war, when the Russians took Berlin, and then the Basque was placed on war crimes tribunal for claiming he caused the Holocaust by taking a poop into a bath pan. The nihilist answer to the wholesale molestation of an entire people by the ignorance of the schoolfrau, or as known to many people, the pederast school teacher, the short mouse, the mousy school teacher, the child molester, as we now call him in America, the common socialist fascist, claiming to support any candidate to temporarily make themselves feel important, having been victims of job placement generations prior by the Catholic Church, the same failed system they attempt to alleviate every time on behalf of women of body build, large women, especially short of height. A common thing you think is just your family, but is actually repeated throughout any pogrom genocide regime in the Middle East or West or Africa or the New World. So, once Hitler went on trial, the Holocaust command sergeant, the O'Neill, is in the same prison as the Basque, and the Basque manages to kill the alleged war criminal, actually just a soldier like any other. There are no war crimes in culture. That's the belief of the Catholic doctrine of the poorly educated educator, with what are called Ku Klux Klan sayings in America. The simplified neural breaker actually learned from Latin. the pederast speaking Latin instead of the original language of Italy, Italian. Latin being a code and passwords language, that induces one into self-shame when masturbating or defecating or urinating, using one humor at a time if a male, or if a woman mensing as she defecates whenever she menses. Both of them an aneurysm state, gained through common child molestation fantasy of the improperly placed career. Anyways, so once John McNeil, the real name of Garth, as you see him in Schindler's List, Ralph Fiennes' character, was dead, having been killed falling with an erection due to being given pornography by the Basque he had smuggled in. The Basque was cleared by the Mossad and given the Scottish Laureates nod as a Jewish actor that impersonates a royal family. The O'Neills also boasting Liam Neeson as one of ours. The Lennox family being Mel Gibson, not an impersonator, Jew, an actual royal. And of course my family having David Cross, the famed David Cross for the Saxons and Palestinians and Dengars and Turkmen, Charleboises, the Dutch country and the Boers and the Queen's sitting line, among others. So now you know how easy it is to survive a genocide. You just need a car, a hit and run sign, and a mobster jacket, like a hurricane jacket, my hurricane jacket, as referenced in a prison movie, mine from Animal Factory. The idea of a pogrom victim going to prison and being a bitch, or as they called it in Germany, an Untermenschen. The ideas behind Jimmy Carter and his society and his vision of the prison-oriented South of the Carolinas. So if you want to survive until the Canadians and Hispanics and Asians come in to clean out the war criminals of America, just get a hit and run mark on your car and just drive around with a mobster jacket from a catalog. Make sure you have a car, a safe place to stay on disability or Section 8, no low-income housing, and of course you'll need booze. And you can't pay attention to Alcoholics Anonymous, the precursor to all the purges and pogroms.